At 56, Brett Favre finally spoke the words that everyone had suspected but nobody dared to confirm, and the weight of decades of speculation seemed to lift in a single, profound confession. From the bright stadium lights of Lambeau Field to the quiet, unassuming rooms of his home, the journey of Favre's career had always been a mix of triumph and private struggle, a delicate dance between the public hero and the private man. "I wanted people to see the game, not the mistakes I made off the field," he said with a faint laugh, a conversational tone that immediately bridged the gap between legend and human, showing vulnerability beneath the fame. For years, fans imagined him invincible, a fearless gunslinger with no fear of injury or consequence, yet Favre's revelation unveiled the truth. He had wrestled with doubt, fear, and the relentless pressure to perform even when his body begged for rest. The narrative of unbroken records now gained a deeper dimension, one that acknowledged the mental and emotional toll hidden behind every touchdown and Hail Mary. It is almost poetic how his story mirrors the arc of a classic hero's journey. Public glory paired with private trials, each chapter richer when the reader glimpses the hidden struggles. In a reflective moment, Favre paused to consider the media scrutiny, the relentless commentary, and the expectations that followed him like a shadow through every season. He admitted that sometimes, the fame felt heavier than any opponent on the field. Dramatically, he described nights of insomnia, staring at the ceiling, thinking about whether he had made the right decisions. Whether to retire, whether to continue, whether to sacrifice family time for the spotlight. And yet, in these confessions, there was humor too, a wry acknowledgement that life often conspires to make legends look fearless while they quietly battle ordinary fears. He spoke of teammates who had become lifelong friends, mentors who guided him, and the unwavering support of his family, each anecdote shifting the tone from solemnity to warmth, illustrating that human connections mattered more than stats. Reflectively, Favre dissected the era of football he dominated, pointing out that fans rarely consider the mental resilience required to perform at elite levels, nor the emotional labor behind constant public scrutiny. There was a journalistic clarity in his recounting of critical career moments, the victories, the injuries, the comeback games, all punctuated with self-aware commentary that blended humility with humor. In a cinematic flashback style, he recounted specific games where the pressure was unbearable, yet the roar of the crowd created a temporary escape, a trance-like focus that demanded everything he had. Conversationally, he admitted that the public rarely saw him doubt, rarely saw him cry, rarely saw him struggle to reconcile identity with expectations. These moments, though private, were crucial in shaping the man behind the legend. Dramatically, he revealed that some of the most challenging decisions came off the field: retirement debates, contract negotiations, and the pull of loyalty versus personal well-being, making the narrative not just about football, but about human complexity. His voice softened when speaking of gratitude, the silent moments with family that restored perspective, and the small joys that no highlight reel could capture. Each story he told shifted the reader's perception. The superhero quarterback became a deeply human figure, resilient but vulnerable, celebrated but quietly flawed. By the end of the revelation, there was an undeniable sense of closure, a cathartic relief not just for Favre but for fans who had long speculated about the man behind the myth. He had finally shared the truth, layered with humor, reflection, drama, and intimacy, creating a multidimensional portrait that transcended football. Favre's honesty resonated because it illuminated the universal experience of facing doubt and overcoming pressure, reminding everyone that behind public personas lie intricate, fragile human lives. The narrative closed with an almost cinematic sense of peace, as though Favre's revelation itself became a final touchdown, a completion of a personal arc that had been decades in the making, leaving fans with not just admiration for his athletic skill, but deep empathy for the man who had carried so much unseen weight. In combining storytelling, reflection, dialogue, and dramatic tension, this single paragraph captures the essence of a man revealing truths that were long suspected, humanizing a legend while celebrating a career that was as emotionally complex as it was record-breaking, leaving the world with the realization that courage is often most powerful when it is quiet, personal, and finally shared.